Hello and welcome to another Flights with Joel. Today we are at Lone Pine in California, 026, to look at the R66 from CowanSim. It is their 6th helicopter coming out from this developer, and it is the most well-developed helicopter so far. They have incorporated some new features that just became available. So we now have a working throttle. You have bindings for almost everything you can think of in the aircraft. It is beautifully crafted, as you can see here. And, well, it's the R66, which is a great little helicopter, I think. I've always been a fan. All the same features that you have come to expect in the CowanSim, including these beautiful interiors, beautiful exteriors. As much as you can do with the Asobo Flight Sim model, and much more. Now that we've had a look, let's jump in. Look around, see how it works. Okay, before we jump inside and take a look, I'm just going to get in and close the doors and we'll look at the attachments. Boom, lot to go over here. Jump back out. So now, as with most of these, as with all of the CowanSim aircraft, you have a load-in screen where you can add and subtract things. I took the pilot out just for that beginning bit. I'll put it back in. Oops. The weight that it comes with is a little light. And you can add passengers. Let's see, what do you need? 160 pounds. There you go. Woo! So you got a passenger. That's 2,700 pounds. That's not what I want. Anyway, you can add and subtract passengers. You can also add, you can take the doors off by subtracting weight. You can add floats with 220 pounds. Boom. You can add a side basket, 150 pounds. Last time I did that, it took the door off. Well, that's interesting. Let's see what happens. And that's about the only add-ons, but there are many other tricks that we have going on inside this helicopter. So I'm going to put this back how I had it because it looks better. I'm not wild about the passengers. I'm sure pretty soon we will have, for good or bad, we will have AI that looks exactly like real people and can move around and talk in our flight sim. So I don't know if that'll be good or super scary. The floats didn't come off. Enter. There we go. I'm just going to go with this for now. And let's start it up. Let's do a startup. I'm in the back seat and let's do a startup. Okay. So I am using, first there's some things to go over. Let me turn on my Track IR. There we go, Track IR on. There's a couple cool things. You have a click spot for this window. So if you don't want that window, you can click it out. And there's also a click spot for something else. But read the manual. I will link you to the manual. You can read the manual before you get it. You have an option of panels right down here, very similar to the 500. So you have panel options. So if you switch your panel, you have that. Or you can go full digital, like that, which still gives you all the gauges, which I think is pretty cool. Where did I have it? Or you can go back to analog, basically. You can go all the way back to analog. One more. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. So you can go to a fully analog panel like that. I like the kind of in-between for now, but I'm still playing around with it. And you can change your GTN option. Now, it's supposed to save the options. I don't know why it didn't, because I had this switch to that, except that I don't have that. There you go. I had it switched to that, and it appears it switched it back, but that's okay for now. So let's get back up here. So those are, I think, the main options. And then you have your checklist right here. Now, for me, being a little hard of seeing, I actually put this over to my left on a second monitor, but the checklist is right here. And if I hit that, I can see it, but then I need to kind of go back and forth the whole time. So I'm just going to do that. I'll go ahead and leave it up if you want to follow along. Seatbelts fastened. Well, yes, seatbelts are fastened. And fuel valve guard on and installed. Now that's this. There's two fuel valves. There's one here and there's one here, which starts the engine. So it's a little confusing because they both say the exact same thing. Fuel cutoff. This one I actually programmed. So I've got that programmed to my controller. Makes it a lot easier when starting. Everything else is programmed too. I'll show you cyclic and collective frictions. So those really don't do anything, of course, but you would undo the frictions for cyclic and collective. Cyclic, collective, pedals, free travel. So pedals, cyclic, what am I saying? Collective, cyclic. And I always tell people, make sure you're not running into something in your sim setup. So it is important to make sure you have free travel so that your controls are actually traveled. Cyclic, neutral, friction on now, pedals neutral. There we go. I took the spring out of my pedal. So it's they won't always stay neutral. They don't spring back. It's great. Rotor brake disengaged. Rotor brake disengaged. Now, where is that? Well, that is right up there. Right there. And I actually made a shortcut for it. It's also in the control 1, 2, 3 somewhere, but I make them kind of shorter, easier to get. So there's your rotor brake and your AC and your Bose noise canceling headphones. Circuit breakers in. Now, this took me a minute. But they're right there. They're right there. So they're a little hard to find. They're down there and they do work. Cabin heat, anti-ice, pitot heat off. So all that is right there. Make sure all these switches are off, in the off position. Landing lights off, which is right there. Make sure that's in the off position. Avionics generator switch off. You can also see them there. Altimeter set, hydraulic switch on. So the hydraulic switch is right here, and it's basically stays on. I'm not sure. I guess maybe you'd turn that off for emergency tests and things like that. The generator and battery are there. Those are all off. The altimeter set is here. So obviously this does work if you would prefer to do it by the airport. I maybe just hit Control B. I don't have weather on right now. I usually don't when I test aircraft. So now for the engine startup. Here we are. We're ready. This is what we're doing. Battery and strobe light on. So I just pop down here again. And I go battery and strobe light. You can actually go through this pretty quickly. Ignition key enabled. So this is a little different. It has this right here. You just enable it. It's going to start yet. It's turbine. Remember, it's turbine. Fuel cutoff, pull off. So that's this one. I assume they're talking about this one because the one down to your left is going to be on. Throttle closed. So here's your throttle, and I have this programmed. This is on my throttle quadrant now, which is wonderful. So you can do this with this helicopter and the 500E as far as CowanSim is concerned. You can do it with some others, but that's a different story. So now I'm going to go through this and then I'm going to do it. throttle's closed. Starter button, push and release. I actually have to hold mine, but that must be how I have it programmed. N1 at 15% increasing. MGT below 150. Fuel cutoff, push on. So you want your MGT below 150. And at 15 here, you're going to push this on. I'm going to do it automatically. So you want a successful ignition within 3 seconds. Monitor and observe. And watch the rotors. At 25% N1, main rotor should be rotating. Oil pressure increasing. N1 stable 65 to 67%. Okay? So let's get that far. So basically, we are going to make sure controls are neutral. Throttle is off. And I did this kind of a weird way, so it's hard to do, but here it comes at 15%. You hit the fuel cutoff. Okay, rotors turning. They are. Everything is coming up as I've released my start button now, and everything is coming up as it should. So it should stabilize at 67 to 70%. 65 to 67% is where it should stabilize at idle. And you want to idle for 1 minute. At least a minute. Hate it when I leave my mouse in here. We can replace this guard now, so that keeps you from pulling that out while you're flying. If you're going to do auto rotations, you cut the throttle. You cut throttle, you don't turn the engine off. Although you can, because it's a sim, right? Now we can turn the nav lights on. We can turn the avionics on. And we can turn the landing light on. And then I'll just go through it on the checklist. Doors closed and latched, they are. Collective friction off, hydraulic system check. Lift collective slightly for low rotor RPM horn. There it is. N1 declaration check as desired. N1 stable at 100%, beep as required. Annunciator lights out, normal operating range in the engine gauges. So it didn't even cover, the checklist doesn't even cover turning on the rest of your lights. Does it? Oh, yes, annunciator panel, all lights on, engine doors. It doesn't. So it's, we're going to say it's been at least a minute. We're going to back up, back out here, put the checklist away, boom, turn this on. There we go. Roll the throttle up. And as far as, yeah, there we go. Turn this on. And now we're running. We're fully running. I think they've just outdone themselves in this. It is definitely close to my favorite helicopter. Let's go in the back again. That's the roof. Things are very nice back here. You can take the doors off, add the basket, add the floats. A lot of different ways you can fly it. There's a whole lot of liveries. I can only show that at the end of this. What else do we have going on? Well, let's fly it. That's it. Let's fly it around, see if I can come back here decently. And there we go. Put this right about here. Go jump back and forth. So I pretty much always do this. I fly around in the aircraft. This is live, and then I play the recording so we can do some outdoor exterior shots. So if there's exterior shots cut in, it's a recording. It's very hard to do both all at the same time. Here we go. Let's give it a shot. a lot of pedals, so hover test. There we go. It's morning, I'm a little tired. I'll be flying this also on my stream today, later today, but that'll be long before this video's out. So, hope you enjoy the video. Here we go. Nice little airport out here in the desert. You do have to get it to around 40 plus before you don't need so much pedal. Right pedal on this helicopter. There we go. Now I don't need much pedal and I can climb. I'm just doing a circuit, which is what I usually do. Quick run around, then we'll shut it down. Now we'll go eat lunch. Unless there's some kind of surprise in store. Might say so on the title, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be called. For me, with my current control setup, I have a VKB flight stick and a verbal throttle, and this thing flies fantastic. And another thing I did is I took the spring out of my pedals. Go to my Discord to see pictures of that. If anyone wants to know how to do that, it's just 14 screws. And there's another video, if you're curious, there's another video that helps with that. I didn't make a video, I forgot, kind of forgot. And since there was already videos, I didn't worry about it too much. So I'm slowing down a little bit so I can do a thing. There's the dirt strip right there. There we go. Found that my sight line has to be almost to where it looks like I'm over my spot before I do this. Okay, now we should be auto-rotating. Throttle is off. And yeah, I'm a little long, but I don't want to slow down too soon. I want to keep that rotor. It actually has a lot of room. There we go. Whoops. I pulled too fast. Look at that. I can just land. And then it buzzes. Wow, so that's pretty amazing. It was not very, what's it called? Dramatic. And the only thing that I think a Sobo has to fix is to allow these needles to split. Because I don't know if you noticed, but they didn't split. Now we just roll it back up. We'll reposition for shutdown. Here we go. The same as when I picked it up. I want to get it in a hover, get it steady, really just allow it to land a little far back. I always a little far back on this one. There we go. How's that? Yeah, see, I always kind of park back here. I need to be beyond where I can see it, but that's fine. No one will complain. I can always put some wheels on it and move it forward. So the shutdown, there is not a checklist for, but I think it's pretty much the opposite of starting it up. I think it's pretty simple. First, I would go in here and shut down the nav light, leave the avionics on. Oh, I forgot to turn the generator on. I should turn that on and sit here a minute then. Was I ignoring that light the whole time? Is there no generator light? Wait a minute. There's not a generator annunciator. There should be a light on when the generator's off. There should be a light on. Do these all work? Yeah. Interesting. Hydraulics generator. So that light right there should be on when that is turned off. But it's not. Wild. Okay. Let's shut her down now. So it's very simple. You remove... actually, I bet if I push the button, it'll just come out. Yeah. So this guard doesn't matter. I can still pull it out. Wait a minute. Oh, now the guard won't come off. Oh well. Let's pop out here and watch it. And there is the MGT. The RPM is already way for everything. The RPM is already all the way down there, which I thought was a little strange the first time I did this. It seems like the RPM should be slower, because usually it's under like 40 that you can pull that. Pull the rotor brake. Shut everything off. Oh, I just realized I messed up. I don't think this is going to work because, well, strobe off, avionics off, generator off. Whenever I turn the avionics off, my sim sort of does a quick restart. It's very disconcerting. Battery off. Oh, the sounds are fantastic. That's another Flights with Joel, wrapping it up. Thanks so much for stopping by. Give a subscribe if you liked it. And we'll see you soon. See you in the skies.